Talk about really the kind of the last new thing within this circles unit. So there's going to be three different possibilities of what we deal with today. So the first thing is where two chords intersect inside of a circle, okay? So this is where they cross each other on the inside of the circle. And so the product of the lengths of the chord segments are equal, all right? So what this says right here is true. So if you take AB and you multiply that times BC, okay, I'm just reading what this says, that equals DB times BE. So whenever you take this piece times this piece, it equals this piece times this piece. All right, so down here, x times 10 equals, what do you think? 5 times 12, that's right. Now the pieces that you, and don't put these brackets on yours, I'm just showing you, but these two pieces that you multiply together here are the pieces that are connected to each other, okay? Those are the two you multiply together. All right, so this one's easy. 10x equals 60. Divide by 10, x equals 6. Now, I'm going to take it and plug it back in, just make sure we got it right, okay? So if I take this and put 6 back here, what is 6 times 10? 60. Is 60. What is 5 times 12? Equals 60. So, whoops. Okay? So those two are equal. That's right. All right. So let's throw a little bit of algebra into the mix here. All right. So x plus 1 times what? X plus 8 equals
x times, or x plus.
Because x plus 10 times x.
Yep. And it doesn't matter what order. So, like you said, you could have put x first and then the x plus 10 second. That'd been fine. And then same thing on the left-hand side. It could be x plus 8 times x plus 1. It doesn't matter. All right, so on that first one, how am I going to multiply x plus 1 times x plus 8?
X squared?
What?
I don't think you use the box.
Okay, you could use the box, and if you want to do that, go for it. I'm going to just use FOIL. Okay, so first, x times x. X squared. Outside, x times 8. 8x. I inside, 1 times x. Is 1x, and then L last, 1 times 8 is 8. So did the first, outer, inner, last. Now on the right-hand side, okay, so here I just have to distribute this x. So x times x squared, and then x times 10 is 10x. All right. So I'm going to combine like terms real quick. So on the left-hand side, all I have to combine is the 8x and 1x. So x squared plus 9x plus 8 equals x squared plus 10x. So all I did in that step there was just to add in the 8x and 1x. Okay, next, we need to get like terms together. So we need to get our x squareds together. So I'm going to take x squared from this side. Got to take x squared from this side. But what's going to end up happening there?
Cancel out.
Okay, they cancel to what?
0.
They cancel to 0. Okay? So then that just leaves 9x plus 8 equals 10x. Then what?
Minus 9.
Minus 9x. So 8 equals x. X equals 8. Now I'm going to plug that back in real quick and see if that works, if that's true. So if I take 8 and plug it in right here, 8 plus 1 is what? 9. And then if I plug in 8 right here, what's 8 plus 8? Is 16. Okay, what is 9 times 16?
What?
Is 144. Okay, now I'm going to take it and plug it in the other side. So if I take 8 and plug it in here, what's 8 plus 10? Is 18. And if I plug in 8 there, it's 8, right? So what is 18 times 8?
144.
Is 144. So that looks good. So x is 8. Okay. I want you to try that on those two. You can do it. So on this first one, 6 times x equals 4 times 15. So 6x equals 60, which means x equals 10. So 4 times 15 is what? 60. And 6 times 10 is what?
60.
Is 60. So that's good. Okay, on this one, x plus 6 times x plus 2 equals x plus 12 times x. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 2x plus 12 equals x squared plus 12x. So x squared plus 8x plus 12 equals x squared plus 12x. Take x squared away from both sides. This zeroes out. 8x plus 12 equals 12x. Take away 8x from both sides. 12 equals 4x. Divide by 4.
X equals 3.
So x should equal 3. Now let's plug that back in up here. So if I plug in 3, 3 plus 6 is 9, and 3 plus 5, or 3 plus 2 is 5. So 9 times 5 is what? It's 45. If I plug in 3 here, and then 3 plus 12 is 15, what's 3 times 15? It's 45, so that's good. Okay, so that's one consideration, is whenever two chords intersect inside of a circle. Okay, the second one is where you have two secant segments, okay? And so you can read all that. What it says is that AC times AB equals AE times AD. Okay, so I like to say it like this. Okay, you're going to take the length of the whole piece times the outside, okay, equals the length of the whole length of the other one times the outside piece. So it's the whole thing times the outside equals the, on the other one, the whole thing of that one times the outside. Anyways, so back to what we're talking about here. The whole times the outside equals the whole times the outside. All right, so on this one, how long is this whole thing right here?
16.
Is 16. So 16 times how long is the outside piece on that one?
6.
6 equals, okay, how long is this whole thing?
8x.
Times that.
Okay, it's x plus 8, yeah. Remember, you're not multiplying, you're adding them together. So the whole thing is x plus 8 times how long is the outside piece?
8.
Is 8. Okay, 16 times 6 is 96. We've got to distribute this 8. So 8x plus 64 minus 64. So 32 equals 8x. Divide by 8.
X is 4.
X is 4. So just to check that, over here, 16 times 6 is 96. Okay, if I plug in 4 for what I got, how long is that whole thing? It's 12 times the outside of 8. What's 12 times 8? 96. So that checks out. That's good. All right, on this one, how long is this whole thing right here?
9.
9 times the outside piece?
4.
4 equals how long is this whole thing?
X plus 9.
X plus 9 times how long is the outside piece?
X.
X. Okay, so we get 36 equals x squared plus 9x. Okay, on this one we're going to be able to cancel out that x squared term. No. So here's what, I mean, there's a lot of ways to solve this. This is the way I'm going to do it, is I'm going to take 36 from both sides. So 0 equals x squared plus 9x minus 36. Okay, so again, there's a ton of ways to do this, but to me the easiest way is just to graph that, okay? So on your calculator real quick,
Do you put 0?
nope. So we're going to type in x squared plus 9x minus 36. And I'm looking for the places where it's 0. On this one, you don't even have to.
3.
It's right there. It's exactly at 3. Now, if you zoom out, you'll see that it crosses at negative 12. But within this context, that doesn't make sense. This is the answer we're looking for. Okay? So x equals 3 is the correct answer here.
Wait, what did you put in?
Okay. So we typed in that x squared plus 9x minus 36. Graphed it. And you can see it crosses right there at 3. So x equals 3. It does cross at negative 12, but that doesn't make sense with what we're doing. All right. So x equals 3. Now let's plug that back in and make sure that makes sense. Okay? So again, this whole thing is how long?
9.
9 times the outside piece,
4.
4, which 9 times 4 is 36. We already did that. If I plug in 3 here, how long is this whole thing?
12.
It's 12 times the outside piece, 3. 12 times 3 is 36. So that looks good. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead. How long is this whole thing?
Oh my gosh, my trying.
19.
19 times the outside piece.
X plus 6. Oh, right.
Yeah, you jumping the gun there. So 19 times 7. Now on the other one, how long is this whole thing? Is x plus 6 times 6. So 133 equals 6x plus 36.
Minus 36. Oh. Did I do this right? 16.16. That was 17.
Yeah, 16.17. Okay, on the back. So really, this one's in the wrong place. Really, this is tied to really the first group where the two pieces meet in the middle, where the two chords meet. So the x, so on this one, it would be 0.7 times x equals 2.5 times 2.5. And then I'm not going to work that one out, but this one's really tied to the first type of problems we did. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to this. So this is the third thing to consider here, is whenever you have a tangent and a secant. Okay, when you have a tangent and a secant. And you can see what they say, jk squared equals jl times jm. So I like to think about it like this. So if you take the tangent piece squared, that's going to equal on the secant piece the whole times the outside. Yep. So it's the tangent piece squared equals the whole times the outside. So on this one, how long is the tangent piece? 8.
Squared.
So we have 8 squared equals how long is the whole thing on the secant part?
7 plus X.
Yeah, x plus 7 times the outside piece, which is x. So we get 64 equals x squared plus 7x. So I'm not going to be able to cancel out the x squared, so I'm going to subtract 64 from both sides. 0 equals x squared plus 7x minus 64. All right, let's graph that. Okay, x squared plus 7x Okay, so this one crosses a little more than 5, so it's not exactly 5. So how can I find exactly where that crosses? Okay, go to Analyze Graph, and we want to find the zeros, which there's going to be 2, but all I care about is this one right here,
5.23.
5.23. And again, there's a bunch of different ways we could do it. This is just the quickest way. So 5.23. All right, on this one, how long is a tangent piece? 10. So I'm going to have 10 squared equals. All right, how long is that whole thing from A to D? Now remember, we're just adding.
2x plus 4.
Good. So it would be x plus 4, which just means 2x plus 4. That's the length of the whole thing. Times how long is the outside piece? Is x. So we get 100 equals 2x squared plus 4x. Not going to be able to cancel out the x squared terms, so let's go ahead and move this. So 2x squared plus 4x minus 100. Where's your cross?
6.1.
6.14.